threat that any of us have seen in our lifetimes. But when there's a threat, there's also the ability to come together as an industry and to reach out and to do something that we've never done before. And that's why I'm appealing to everybody listening to this session today, both on the corporate side and the service provider side, to help us as we try and come together, we try and unify as a profession to help our assignees. Because although a lot of people are struggling with lockdown and with a very unusual and stressful situation, the reality is that our common clients, whether you're a corporate or a service provider, our common clients, the assignees, are in a more difficult situation than most. Our assignees are quite likely to be, well, by definition, in a foreign country. They may have few friends, few family there, and they may find it hard to cope in a way that maybe locals find it less so. For example, government information may be in or will be in the local language. They may not speak it that well, certainly when there's technical stuff. They may have special needs that others don't have. For example, they may want different types of food maybe that they normally buy that the locals don't buy. They may want to know how they can get that delivered. So our idea is we want to come together as an industry. We want to offer a support tool that will be completely free of charge, which will provide information, immigration information, visa information, tax information if we can do it, healthcare information, travel information, and also information they can share with each other, such as I said, where you can get good local delivery food, other information that they might want to share. And we really want to offer this as a tool that everybody can join together. Service providers, please feel free to take part in this initiative. We're going to go into this in a lot more detail over the next few minutes. But what I'd like to do is to introduce my colleague and our CEO here at Benivo, Nitsan Udan. So hi, Nitsan. What I'd like, if I could, for you, Nitsan, to maybe pick up the ball now and just tell us a little bit about this Benivo initiative, and then we'll get into sharing the platform. But before we do, I'd just like to do a big shout out to everybody there in LinkedIn world. We know a lot of you will be listening. Please, can I ask you to let us know you're there? It's really important when we do one of these LinkedIn Live demonstrations or LinkedIn Live conversations for us to know who is there. So please, if you're out there in LinkedIn world, just say hi, tell us where you're from. And as we go through the demonstration, please tell us a little bit about what you'd like to see in it. If you're a service provider, how do you think you can help? If you're corporate, what would you like to see in the platform? We want you to challenge us. We want you to tell us what it is that you'd like to see there. So please don't be silent. Don't hide in cyberspace. Please tell us who you are and please share your views. Anyway, Nitsan, over to you.
Thank you, Brian, and hi everyone. Thanks for joining today. We want this session to be perhaps a bit different than other sessions. We want it to be interactive, so we want to hear your questions, your challenges, your advice, so we create something together as an industry. We also want it to be an optimistic and positive session, maybe even a bit entertaining. We all see so much negativity happening on our social media, on the news. Let's try to take a different approach on this call. If you agree on this call, on this session, if you agree, comment, like, let us know if you feel the same, that we need a little bit more positivity for all of us. Now, what we are going to talk today is about a tool that we, the team of Benivo, built in the last few days. We've already actually did a number of iterations on that tool, and that's a free tool that we are offering for any corporate in the industry. It doesn't need to be a client. It can be, of course, to our clients, and many of them already added it to our standard tools, but it's also available to anyone who is not a client, and that's a COVID-19 support tool that we will share today and show you a little bit how it works. I'm going to ask for two types of engagements for everyone here. First, if you're a corporate, please share with us any challenge that you might have with the situation. And what we are going to do on Benivo, we are a tech company. We're going to commit that we are going to solve this challenge in 3 days. Right, so in 3 days, you're going to have a solution that is live, and as I mentioned, of course, no cost, no commercials involved. And we are in a fortunate place as Benivo. We have a team of now more than 50 people. Some of them are here online on the session, waiting to hear your challenges and start immediately to work and see how we can add value. Once we're going to look at the demo, I'll share a few examples of what other companies ask us to solve and how we solve it for them. So that's my request for anyone who is a corporate and listening to the session. Please share on the comment or even go live and join us with the specific challenges that you have, and we'll talk about how solving that. If you want it to be anonymous, then just contact Brian or me offline, and we will connect and address that.
Let me tell you, Nitzan and the world who's with us. We've got hundreds of people already online. We've got, I'm not sure where everybody's from, but Jamie Masla, hi. We've got Pankaj Bhatia from India. We've got Tom Broom from Denver. Angela Passman from World Pet Travel. I mean, certainly pets might be an issue that we could put up there. We've got Sunaina from India, Michael Cadden, hi Michael, from Connecticut. We've got Yuki Watanabe from the Gap in San Francisco. In fact, Yuki is going to be our guest on The View from the Top Live tomorrow. So big shout out to Yuki, and I hope everybody's enjoying that View from the Top series specials we're doing. Again, there's one tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got Melissa from New Jersey. We've got Susan from REA in Pennsylvania. I could go on, but I won't read out all of them. We've got somebody from the Impact Group, from TRC Global Mobility, people from South Africa, from Budapest. So yeah, we've got hundreds of people. I won't read them all out. But anyway, Nitzan, I interrupted you. You carry on. Let's get back to the business of the support tool.
Yeah, it's exciting to see so many people from so many places and so many friends. And you've mentioned a few names there. So on the corporates, as I said, share with us your challenges. Challenge us. Let's see if we can solve it in 3 days and go live as we commit. Normally, it takes us 30 days to go live with a full implementation. Here, we want to do that faster, as of course the situation requires that. But we also want to invite every supplier or partner or vendor, a provider of services in the industry, to join forces with us in order to help us make an impact. As Brian said before, we deliver different types of services to the mobility industry, but we all share one thing in common, which is our mission is the same, is to improve the employee experience of the assignees, to add value to people who are relocating, and that's an opportunity for us to collaborate around that. So if you are a service provider, a partner in the industry, and you would like to offer a free service, or content, or a resource, any freebies, just let us know either here on the comments or later offline, and we will add it to the tool so it will be available for the corporates who are using that, and will of course include your branding. The Impact Group, who are great to have the guys on the session, sent us already materials that we will be adding to the tool shortly. I'm not going to be able to show it to you on the demo today, but that's coming. Some really interesting things about well-being and mental health that we will be adding, and we're going to look also on other companies, including Fragoman, who are sharing live updates of what is the situation with regards to immigration. So if you are a supplier in the industry, we invite you to join forces with us, share, and help for the people that are really in the center of our day-to-day work. What we won't do today is we will not talk about the Benivo normal product. We're not going to talk about pay later or digital destination. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that when things come back to normal. What we are going to talk today is on a specific tool that we've built for COVID-19 support. And maybe as a next step, Brian, unless you wanna share some more insights that came from the channel. If not, I'll share the screen and show a little bit the tool.
Yeah, that'd be great, Nitzan. Why don't you share your screen and let's get into it. And again, you know, we're getting lots of comments through from people who are like it, and people who are saying, you know, they do want support like this. So Nitzan, if I can ask you to share your screen, then I'll put it up online.
All right, I've now shared my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, so the Benivo platform is always a branded platform, right? So it's always branded for the corporate. The Benivo bit is just a small bit here at the end, but it's always branded to the corporate. So we chose a few corporate that are on the front line of fighting COVID-19 and doing amazing things, such as the NHS in the UK, Regeneron, some pharmaceutical company, Walmart, others that are Bayer, that are doing a lot to support. We also want to do our small part, obviously not as big, but our small part of supporting. And we just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of how the branding looks. So
I think it's a great point, Nitzan. It's one that I'd really push out to the industry. I mean, so many of our employers are doing so much to help, you know, whether they're sort of making face masks, or they're providing sanitizer, or they're creating tests or what have you. I mean, so many large companies out there are doing such a great thing. Wouldn't it be great if we as an industry could actually unite, could collaborate to do something for our assignees? And you know, issues are coming out that all the time, I think, that none of us have maybe even thought about before. Somebody, I mean, here's one I've just seen. This is from Angela Passman, and I'm not sure which company you're with, Angela. It says one of the biggest challenges are people who are being repatriated, but their pets are stranded. I mean, that's an issue. I'll be honest, I hadn't thought about that until you mentioned it, Angela. And that's something where actually, you know, if you've got content that you could share with us, that we could put out there, then we'd love to have that on board. I mean, you know, we're not being coy about this. We want as much information that service providers can share with us as possible, so that, and we will, of course, as Nitzan said, credit you, put links in, whatever is appropriate. But we do want to have a platform where, as an industry, we can come together and completely free of charge in this difficult time support our common client, the assignees. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic challenge that you're raising. As I committed, we'll get back, probably in this case even in under 3 days, with solutions, how to solve that and how to handle the situation. So we'll get back offline, but also update everyone who wants to know how we are solving it. So if you want also to be involved, just give us a shout out in the comments. What we are looking at now is the Benivo branded platform for our demo company, which is called Stark Industries. If you can tell where the Stark Industries name is coming from, please share on the comments if you can tell what is the source of this company name and what's special about that, as a trivia. And I promise to give another question if I get the answer. LinkedIn Live has this funny thing that we talk, Brian and me, and you guys put comments and we just see it a few minutes after. So I apologize in advance on any delay that will be between sharing those comments to us actually feedbacking on them. But if you can, if you recognize where Stark Industries is coming from, to let us know. So the platform, what we are seeing now is the employee view. So how the assignee or the relocating employee or the intern.
Just to interrupt, the winner was, the first person to come up was actually Yuki Watanabe from The Gap, who put Iron Man, and then we've got Abigail Stevens going Shield, and Wendy Lamb going Tony Stark. So they're all there. That was too easy a question. Anyway,
that was too easy. Fair enough. If it was too easy, let's go a bit more advanced. Our second demo platform is called Paper Street Factory. And if you can tell that one, it's a much challenging one. So it's a good guess there, or not guess, good trivia knowledge, Yuki. Paper Street and Paper Street Factory, where is this one coming from? Let's see that one for the next trivia question. And back to the platform. The platform is branded. We are seeing the employee experience, the tool that they will be seeing. Every slide and every piece of content is editable, right, by us. So we can very quickly change the content on any slide and make it, or add a slide, remove a slide, make it specific and relevant for your needs. That's why we say we can solve anything within 3 days, because doing those changes is just like working on a PowerPoint. But of course, we do it as a service. So as the employee, I'm now being onboarded to the tools. I'm being asked a few questions in order to personalize the experience and show only relevant information for me. So I live with my partner and children, meaning I'll get some content related to that. Probably next, we'll ask them if they have a pet, and based on that, we'll know to share a bit of information how to handle pets in this scenario and what to do when the pets are stranded. But just give you a taste of how it works. One of our most important concepts in Benivo is learning from others who've been there before and what others are doing, right? Everywhere in our day-to-day life, we use star ratings, we use reviews, we see what other people have done. When we order something on Amazon, we look on the star ratings and the comments. When we book a hotel, that seems long ago, huh? But when we book a hotel, we don't look if it's a 3-star hotel or a 4-star hotel. We look on the star ratings on Expedia or Booking or TripAdvisor. Anywhere in our life, that's how we make decisions. And what we've done as Benivo is we've brought this concept into mobility and into relocation. So in our destination products, we help people find out where other employees of the same company live. How much do they spend? How do they commute to work? Which bank account do they open, etc. What we've done is we took the same concepts and put them into the COVID-19 support tool. So I can see anything from the workspace of my colleagues to what do they do, how do they entertain their kids, and which food delivery and which supermarket has the most slots in the location they are based, because the solution is global. So I can see here that I'm going to get insights from 2,000 other people on the platform. Next thing is I can choose the language. The platform is native in 103 languages. So it's native in English, but support 103 languages through machine translation. Do challenge us in the comments if you want to switch to a more challenging language, rather than, I think the most challenging I could think of is the Zulu language here. But I don't know if anyone here
yeah, around the LinkedIn world, if anybody wants to just challenge us to show it in their language, then let us know, and we'll, as we go live, remember we do have about a 2-minute delay, but let us know and we'll try and switch it into your language. By the way, Nitsan, we've had offers of help. World Pet Travel have said they would love to be involved. REA have said they would love to provide resources on family situation. Booking.com said they'd like to be involved as well. Newland Chase, I think, have also indicated they'd like to be involved. So we're getting a lot of love and support from the industry out there.
That's amazing, and that's so exciting to see everyone coming together. And we'll follow up, of course, with everyone after this session. And again, if there are any specific challenges of corporate that you want to share, let's do that. All right, please do that, and we'll look how to solve them. On the platform, there are a number of sections. I'll start with the actions section, which has some introduction information. So for example, I can learn about local health and transport updates, right? So what's the latest with things changing daily? How can I stay up to date? Which local health resources should I go and use? And I can do that.
Nitsan, could you switch it to Thai just to show us a language change?
Thai.
Thai. If we can do Thai, someone's challenging us there.
All right. I can only say kapung kai in Thai. All right, here is Thai.
Okay. So
all right.
That shows how impressive the platform is. I think maybe switch back.
Oh, sorry, I've done Turkish. Sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
Yes, now it's in Thai. Oh, that looks a bit more like Thai.
Good spot. But we'll switch back to English. But the point here is, remember that a lot of assignees, and this will be used by assignees and their families. Their English may not necessarily be, won't be their first language, may not be that good, and certainly for technical information and when they're in times of stress, they might like to have it in their own language. So this shows you how flexible the tool is. Anyway, my Thai is rubbish, so perhaps we could sort of switch it back into English.
All right, would love to get the feedback from the Thai speakers. Good. I can see where is the nearest medical facility in case that I need it. I can click and find that. I can learn about the latest with transportation, what currently works, what doesn't work. I know that a lot of companies have launched, a lot of corporates launched their internal tools, but sometimes the challenges, as we hear from other corporates with these tools, are that they are built for the locals who live in that location, but not for the assignees who might have the language barrier, who might not know the local services, etc. And that's how corporate found it helpful to use this tool. In addition, we can also host here or link to any internal tool that a company already has. So one of the corporates we work with, they really wanted to collect some feedback and hear what can they do more, right? And for us, it was as simple as adding here a quick form where people can add that information. What can my company do for me? And, and I can ask to help me repatriate my pet. I send the feedback. It goes straight to whoever we want to define it, whether it's the mobility team or a help desk, etc. And all these things can be set up in minutes based on your needs. And if I've done it now, I can mark it as done, so it will be removed from my list. Other things that we included here is how to connect from home. So all the information about setting up your home network, especially for those that are doing it in a location with not their normal location where they are being based. We have, as I mentioned, Fragoman offered their updates here, and we will be offering specific updates from Fragoman. And everything on this platform is customizable. So if you see something here and say, oh no, I don't want that, then we can easily, in a tick of a box, remove that from the platform that will be for your company. We've set up WhatsApp groups that are getting a lot of popularity. And we can see there how other people, I can see how my colleagues are keeping in touch with each other. And a lot of do it for the phones, a lot do it on web conference tools. Obviously, Zoom has picked up a lot, and I can just see how they do it. Or I can join a group here of other assignees who are also based, let's say, in Paris at the moment and stranded. More than that, we can also create those groups for spouses and partners, because I might be able to communicate with colleagues through Link, Yammer, Slack, one of our internal communication tools. My partner might not have access to that, so we can also, and we facilitate that for some who wanted that. Other things that we have here is access to official government advice and learning the local information and what to do there, which are the official websites to get advice at every step at any time to know what to do. I'll show a few more areas. Sorry, Brian. Yeah.
So you carry on, Nitsan. Sorry, I think it's a fascinating demonstration. Let's go in now and look at some of these other areas we can do.
All right. Under the destination, what we give is kind of what we call out of the box. These are all things that are included, but as I mentioned, we can customize it, add or remove anything that you would like to have on your platform. Are things related to remote learning. I'm seeing that because I said during the onboarding that I have I'm living with my partner and with my children. Obviously, if I would have said that I'm by myself, we're probably going to show different. We're not going to show this. We might show content about virtual dating or something like that.
Can I ask you a question, Nitzan? We've had a question come in from Wendy Lamb. She's the international assignments lead at Boston Consulting Group, and her question is this: can you clarify again? Where do you obtain your information from? How do you check the information is accurate for that location? So let's answer Wendy's question.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Thank you. So we have a number of sources to validate information. First, we have our own amazing internal research team that are providing that information. We're often going to link to a local government official websites. We are getting some of the updates will come and are coming from Fragoman, and others can be anything that the company wants. So if the company wants us to direct to a BCG specific resource, we can easily change and do that. If you want to link to an internal portal that will provide that, this can be a hub that will they will know also where to check something specific on a different place. What's also important is that all the content is being we make it hyper local and hyper relevant by showing what other people are doing. And I'll show you in a minute how we collect that. But for example, about getting your groceries, right? So I can see here who are those who are actually offering that. And I can deliveries now, and I can see that Ocado is the one that is most popular with my colleagues here in London. Sainsbury's number 2, not many people using Amazon Fresh. So maybe it's an opportunity to use that because maybe they're going to get more delivery slots, but I can also otherwise see what others are doing, and that helps me make decisions. So this is information that we are collecting from colleagues. I can also,
if I can make a couple of points there, Nitzan, also responding to Wendy's question. The first thing is that any aspect of this tool will be fully personalized to how you want it in your company. So if you want something switched on or switched off, we can switch it on or off as you want. So for example, if you have a particular data source that you really want to use and you don't want to use another, maybe a tax provider, an immigration provider you want to use, or some providing, I don't know, safety or travel information or something, we will link in with whoever you want, switch on whatever you want, switch it off. Similarly, we also provide WhatsApp groups as part of this so that assignees can actually communicate with themselves informally. That again can be switched on or switched off as you want. The other thing that's exciting about this is that we've effectively gamified global mobility here. What we're doing is we're saying to the assignees, please give us your feedback on things. So in this example, the stores for online delivery, you know, which stores you're using, and indeed, how do you rate the experience you've had with those stores? And then people get points effectively. So we've gamified it for taking part. And I think that's probably a first, if you like, the gamification of global mobility. And it's very exciting. And what we're trying to do is to bring in new look technology into what has been a fairly traditional industry in many ways.
Thank you, Brian. And just for the benefit of those who joined later to the session, all this implementation, we are committing to doing it within 3 working days. So it's going to be very something that will happen very, very fast. And the other thing that we are offering that is, of course, at no cost, no strings attached, nothing. And in that aspect, and it's also, we have solutions that we've already implemented with other corporates with regards to how to make it go through GDPR compliance or procurement, all of that, how all of this can happen in 3 working days, and we've done it. So definitely possible.
Can I just come in? I'll just pick another couple of comments that are coming through from people who are listening. The first one, Mark O'Reilly, who's global mobility leader. And hi, Mark. I just can't remember where you are. I seem to remember it might be Rio Tinto, but I can't remember from memory, and I can't see it on screen. But Mark says, if a tool can tell me where I can get a delivery slot with Tesco or Sainsbury's, that would be a miracle. And I think that's a fair comment. But what we can say, Mark, in all seriousness, I appreciate that was tongue in cheek. In all seriousness, what we can tell from this is what other assignees are saying has worked for them. So, for example, I've learned, as I'm sure everybody else has from, family and friends, that, a particularly delivery company that didn't do delivery before is actually working very well, even when the big chains aren't. Now, that's the sort of stuff that local people might want. So, for example, if you're an Indian assignee in Paris, you might want to know where you can get Indian groceries from, which maybe the regular grocery stores won't do, but local ones might be doing. Other comments I've had is Chris Blair. Now, where's Chris from? Aviva. Chris Blair has said, did you advise that this could be implemented within 3 days, or did I make that up in my head? And no, Chris, you did not make that up. We will absolutely commit to having it live for you within 3 days. Obviously, we need your attention during the 3 days to help us to brand it, but we will get it up. That's our commitment to you. We normally say 30 days, but we are putting every resource we have in our organization onto delivering this platform to people as swiftly as possible. We appreciate that it's a very stressful time for everybody. We are making an absolute 3-day commitment. We will get this live. And then another comment that came in, and this is from Liesl Rudlin, and Liesl is head of global mobility at Nokia. And she said, Brian, so it's an app that the assignees access. I've missed how it is accessed as a platform. So Nitsan, do you want to just take that one?
Yes, very good point. So first on the 3 days, just to clarify, these are 3 working days that Benivo will work, not you. We know that you have enough things to work on. We can get, what we will need is 1 hour of your time, probably 2 30-minute calls in order to set up, one, to identify all the needs, and second, to show you what we've built, and then doing final tweaks. It's going to be very, very light touch on your end. We'll do all the work. That's what we love to do. So the question, how do the employees get to that platform? So in order to get to the platform, the employees register themselves on a page, on a link that you will provide them. And they opt into the service, which is what is helping with the data security and information. So they choose to share their email address and full name, so we can then invite them to have access to the platform. So the question, how do they get it to the platform? There is going to be a link that you will send to the relevant employees. They can then, if they're interested, provide their email address and full name, and they will get invited into this tool. That's how they get it.
Shout out on my part, a big apology. Mark O'Reilly, I know I said that you were with Rio Tinto. I appreciate I'm 3 years out of date, and you're now with HSBC. That's the problem with doing stuff live. So apologies for that, and look forward to catching up with you another time, Mark. Nitsan.
Thank you. So you mentioned a little bit about gamifying mobility. So let's look how these cool things actually work. What I can see here is my points, and I have a lot of points because that's my personal account, and as you can imagine, I've been to this tool before. But I can actually answer here questions and share my insights. So for example, what helped me most when I feel stressed? For me personally, I go for a run every morning, still allowed in the UK. I saw exercising, and I can see what percentage of my colleagues do the same. How do I keep top tip from working from home? Yeah, for me is to stick to a schedule. Again, I can see also what my colleagues have answered. So it's how we gamify that. On every question I answer here, I get points. And once the employee is reaching answering 30 questions or the value of 30 points, we're gonna make a donation to a charity on their behalf. So they can choose a cause that they would like to support, and we're gonna make a donation into that cause. And that can be in their home country, destination country, something that is close to their heart. And that's kind of, the value of sharing those insights. And the real value is that, of course, they are helping each other, right? So I can see what my colleagues are doing on other areas of the platform and how it can help add value to me. So that's a little bit about gamifying mobility and the fact that we are creating that feeling of a community. I'm part of something bigger. I can share my insights. I can see what others have done, and it's all in a fun and engaging way.
And whilst Nick's moving on, let's read out some of the comments we've had in the box. Alan King from King and Mayer said that they'd be very keen to offer support here in Germany. Angela Passman, who's from World Pet Travel, asked how to reach out to us. Simply send us a message on LinkedIn is probably the easiest, and we will just get back to you directly, Angela. Clivia Batelli Baskin from the US. Hi there, Clivia. Long time no speak. She said they would like to participate by providing information in the US. We will be in touch. David Carmichael from CGI. It's great to see how you've adapted an already great product to support employers to help their employees get practical answers to questions that the COVID-19 situation creates. Good stuff. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that.
Great.
Okay.
I'm showing another session of the part of the platform, which is has content about tips from working from home, how to exercise while at home, staying in touch with our loved ones, how to deal with anxiety. So content and reference to external and internal resources that can help them, and of course anyone from the industry who's interested to provide their content here, we will edit, and of course with your branding there to make sure that it's part of that support. I'm going to show one of the things that we've done for one of our clients who wanted a little bit create a personal touch, allow people to share their workstation and how they've handled to working from home, obviously many with families and or pets or other, just create something a bit, with a tip from, I can see from one of my, what the employee is saying, kind of, what was my top tip? Create a comfort zone for yourself. You can see this one is my actual cat. Of course, we've put pictures of the Benivo team for the demo, but that's just for the example. And just as I mentioned in the beginning, to make that a little bit more positive, share some of the things that others are doing, create the feeling that we are not alone in this, right? We are not the only one. We are working together as a team. Things will get better, and reinforce that message, especially for someone who is now away from home, away from family, on a different country, being able to get that extra connection. We think there is a lot of value on. One more area that I know that one company asked us to solve was with regards to accommodation. And the challenge they had there is that they do not provide accommodation for their assignees, mostly people, engineers that going on client projects for a few months. The employees need to sort out their own accommodation. Obviously, they have a budget and they can expense it, but they can book it themselves. And the challenge is that now they had to extend it. And what we've built for them is a quick tool where they can educate themselves about their options, about what works for their colleagues, and then reach out, send a message that will reach out to quite a few housing providers, who will then get back to them with options that are available for them for the specific dates that they need, and they'll go ahead and book it. And then we provide them information how to expenses back to the company. So when we talk about implementation within 3 days, we can actually get even to that level of solving specific challenges like that. Another example of a challenge we've got for a company is a company that has a population of early career employees. And those programs, which many of our clients are using Benivo also to support these programs, are they have a challenge because there is a fixed start date. For many of them, it's going to be either the summer or the fall. For those that are in the summer, there are some companies who are considering now switching to a virtual internship. Basically, they realize that they will not be able to bring everyone to the office, especially when relocation is involved, but even without relocation, right? It's just not realistic, and they have to adapt for that. And the challenge is that imagine the intern or the grads, this is their first job, they were looking forward for that, and suddenly, oh, I'll be working from home. Do I even have a place to work at home? How is that going to work? And that creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of questions. Sorry. And what we are able to help with is provide a bit more reassurance. So comments, just like those, content that we can host here about how to prepare, about what to do before that, how is that going to work, and that can be updated daily with notifications that are being sent by phone and text message when something new is happening. And we can even acknowledge that, right? So we can make sure that the employees are going on their actions and mark as done once they have actually realized something. Okay, I've done that, I've seen this. And on the client view, so for their platform, there is also access to, we're looking on the employee view, there is the HR view, what we call the client platform, and there they can see who has done what, which employees already acknowledged that, what stage they are, etc. So all the information is available for them.
Can I come in there, Nit? So
yes.
One comment we've had from Juliet Howie, who is from Oakwood Group, and Juliet said, "How do you work with housing providers?" And I appreciate, Juliet, from your point of view, service accommodation is going to be right up there as an issue. And it strikes me that one of the big issues here is that assignees who are being repatriated from their foreign location back home, they may find, or they will find, they probably need serviced accommodation. Because whatever property they had back home, they probably don't have anymore because it's been let out, or maybe they're being repatriated even to a third country. And I know we've seen that in a lot of crisis situations before. There's actually no reason why not. If a particular company wanted to put this in there, that there could be a link to some form of serviced accommodation provider to help people to book in the serviced accommodation. And certainly we can put in generic information about how to do things. But remember, this is all client driven, but if the client has a particular service provider they want to work with, or if they don't have one, they want to have one from a panel or something, then we can certainly put that in there so that to help people find what is effectively emergency accommodation for people coming back.
Yeah, and just on that point, right, we don't have a vendor network as Benivo, and we don't want to have a vendor network. We know that there are either companies have that directly, or they're using fantastic RMCs that are providing them with that. So we are 100% flexible. If you want us to have your current vendor network, if you want to refer to other companies, we are 100% flexible in terms of how to provide the sort of specific solutions that every corporate has. That's the value of this platform, that is customized and personalized for each company, each population, each destination.
And another question to you, Nitsan, from Yuki Watanabe from The Gap. She says, does the platform view, does the program manager look different from what we're seeing? In other words, the platform view. In other words, we're seeing the employee front end. Is there an employer back end that they can see?
Yes, 100%. I'm going to try and switch here live. Let's see what happens. But yes, there is a complete platform that is available only for the mobility manager or the HR. As you can see, I switched here because I have an admin account. Obviously, an employee cannot just switch between those platforms. And I can see here reports, I can see feedback, I can see actions that I can take, I can invite an employee to the platform, I can see information about usage, registrations, how many insights have we collected, how many people share that, how many actions were completed, etc. Such information I can see here that is available, and then on high level, and then on reports, I can get into specifics on who registered, on who did what, etc., and get even into the level, as I mentioned before, specific actions, who completed this, who didn't complete that, so I can know who to follow up with, etc.
What we've done, Yuki, is that, I mean, we've got our regular platform, which itself we don't charge any implementation fees for, and it's just literally a few $100s per assignee. But what we've done is we've taken a version of that and we've made it COVID-19 specific, and that is what we're providing free of charge. So what you're getting is effectively in some ways, if you like, slightly skinned down, but also a slightly more specific version of the normal platform. But everything you're seeing here, both the employer view and the employee view, is completely pro bono, and it's our way of doing something for our profession during these really difficult days.
Yeah, and one other point to highlight here, one of the benefits of this platform, again, with regards to these early career programs, is that the fact that they have access to this platform even before they have a company email address. So we can give them access to that today or in 3 working days. And that can help solve a lot of the questions that otherwise they will only be able to get on email, because simply they don't have yet the company email address because their start date hasn't arrived, and they cannot access to the tools that are available to them as an employee. So there is another use case that we've seen a few of our clients, a few corporates using it for early career programs, because it gives them the access to the tool earlier.
And another question that's come in, Nitzan, is in terms of the employer side of the platform, the response was perfect, but the follow-up question was, how long are we going to offer this for?
That's a good question. I want to say until everything is solved, hopefully in 3 working days as well, but look like it's going to take a bit longer. But for the entire time that the situation continues, we are going to offer that, and if needed a little bit after that, for any reason, of course, we will keep offering that. So we are never going to charge money for this tool. This will never going to become our core business. We have our products and our tools that we love and use. This is something that we're offering with there's no catch. There are no strings attached, nothing behind.
One of the benefits of having a business that's very scalable, like a tech business, and we have, Touchwood had massive growth over the last few years, is that in terms of the marginal cost of doing stuff when, the world is in crisis, is not that much from our perspective, and we are VC backed, which gives us some access to funds. So we are prepared to commit. This is our message to the industry, which is that we are here for the long term. And at a time when people really need something very special, we want to be out there to offer that. And we do encourage everybody else. I appreciate that for many companies, the number of moves and certainly business travel is very, very considerably down. Maybe as much as 95, 100% down in terms of the number of moves. So now is the time to actually act creatively, to think outside the box, and do something which is generally for the long-term good of these people that we all depend on. Whether we're corporates or whether we're service providers, we all depend on the individuals who are actually the people who are moving. So this is our way of giving back to those people who we're all supporting. And again, we do very strongly encourage every service provider out there that would like to be involved to join in and share your expertise. And to the corporates, we said, our commitment to you is we're going to offer this for as long as it's needed. No string attached.
Yeah, and one more point is, as you can see here, this platform is not about Benivo, right? It's all branded as the corporate, and we are also happy to deliver with any RMC, relocation management company, who wants to offer it to their specific client, and then in the branding, it will simply say is powered by Benivo and the name of the RMC, right? So we can even co-brand it with any of the RMCs. That's how we do it with our normal products. when we sometimes deliver through an RMC. So happy also to offer that here. And any of our RMC friends who want to take this into clients who maybe didn't participate on this call, I'm happy to go and offer that. We really want to help. It's an important time for us. It's a test time for everyone, and this is also, as Brian, as you said, an opportunity for everyone to step up and see how we are stronger together.
Okay, so some more shout outs. We've got, I won't go through them all, but we've got loads of people coming in at the LinkedIn comments. And anybody who on LinkedIn has reached out to us, we will get back to you. But again, you can also directly email us. It's either nitzan@benivo.com or brian.friedman@benivo.com, or just message us through LinkedIn and we'll get back to you. Okay, I think we're getting pretty much close to the end of our time slot, Nitzan, but so I don't know if there's any further aspects you need to show, and maybe just show one or two of the personalized platforms again so that people can see what it looks like, you know, not as a Stark industry, so they can hopefully start envisaging what it would be like for their own company.
Yeah, so that's, as I said, some of the companies who are on the front line of fighting COVID-19. That's why I wanted to give a shout out for them. So here are some of those branding. You can see the look and feel of that, etc. Each of these, as we said, going to be live in 3 working days according to any brand guidelines that you want to provide. Normally, we already create a mock-up based on their marketing website, the main website. So it's not like a big process to get that approval.
Okay, so is that about all you wanted to say at this point, Nitzan? Okay, well, let me wrap up. I mean, first of all, let me thank everybody out there in the industry. I've got a lot of friends in the industry. I think we all have. It's, you know, it's such a small world that we all live in. We know each other so well. And lots of, you know, really nice comments coming in. We're feeling the love. Alan King from King and Mayor. That's great. Thank you, Benivo team. There will be light at the end of the tunnel, especially if we all work together. And Angela Passman, totally agree. Sandra Clary, kudos. Liesl Rudlin, very generous offer, thank you. Sunanya Rakian, fantastic. Clivia Batelli Baskin, a great contribution to our industry. We are feeling the love. You know, this is, as I said, this is our way of giving back, but we appreciate that, you know, there's room here for every service provider to help us, and every corporate, please. This is a genuine free offer. There's no strings attached, and we would love you to take it up, and you know, and to help us all support everybody in our, you know, everybody out there who's on assignment. So, you know, at this point, you know, we're getting a lot more comments coming in, but I think I'm going to have to wrap it up now. It's been great having you all listening. Just one last thing to say is 3 o'clock tomorrow. UK time, which is 10 a.m. tomorrow from Eastern time. We've got another global immigration update with a couple of leading corporates on, and that's with me and Julia Onslow-Cole here on LinkedIn Live, and our special guests are Patricia Tavares from Unilever and Yuki Watanabe from The Gap. And I know Julia in particular is going to be, well, she's going to be doing her normal tour de force as she goes around the world on travel issues, but I know she'll focus on 2 areas that we didn't manage to focus on last week, which was Latin America and Africa. So hopefully we'll see many of you again at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So thank you everybody, and goodbye from me and goodbye from Nitzan.
Thank you, bye.